upon us here assembled, and grant that we shall treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our country and of those whose interests you have committed to our charge. Amen. Sergeant at Arms, ring the bell for 10 minutes.
The business of the National Assembly is currently on, presided over by Honorable Martha Wangari, the Honorable Member for Gilgil constituency, who also serves as a member of the Speaker's panel. And upon the commencement of business this afternoon, we have a quorum hitch. And due to that fact, the House has the Sergeant at Arms ringing the quorum bell as per the provisions of Standing Orders number 34 that guide the House in regards to matters quorum. And as we await for that quorum to be attained, and if there will be further directives from the Speaker, the Intergovernmental Relations Amendment Bill, a bill originating from the Senate, Bill number 12 of the year 2024 by the leader of the majority party, is coming up for debate. This bill is currently at the second reading, where members ventilate on the bill in terms of debate. They will be debating the Intergovernmental Relations Amendment Bill and the amendments proposed to the existing Act on Intergovernmental Relations, the consideration of sessional paper number 5 of the year 2025 on the National Green Fiscal Incentives Policy Framework is a motion lined up for debate this afternoon, and the Chairperson Departmental Committee on Environment, Forestry and Mining, on behalf of his committee, will be seeking to have the National Assembly adopt the report of the Departmental Committee on Environment, Forestry and Mining following the committee's consideration of sessional paper number 5 of the year 2024. This consideration is in regards to the National Green Fiscal Incentives Policy Framework. The committee, after the consideration of the matter, laid its report on the table of the National Assembly on the 30th day of September, the year being 2025. And the committee will be seeking to have the National Assembly approve the sessional paper number 5 of the year 2024. Let's now have a look at other business before the House this afternoon. And among them is the request for statements that will be coming from different members of the National Assembly this afternoon, as well as a petition there will be a petition that will be communicated by the Speaker of the House in regards to the petitions that has found themselves before his office. The petition in question in this particular juncture will be the enactment of a legislation to regulate the proliferation of theological colleges in the country. This is a petition on behalf of the chairperson of the Association of Pentecostal Vocational Training Institutions of Kenya, Reverend Josiah Njiru. And after that petition is read before the members, the Committee on Public Petitions will be proceeding to consider the petition. Remember, for the better part of last afternoon during the House business, the Speaker called upon the Committee on Public Petitions to dispense with petitions before it. On Standing Orders number 44, subsection 2C, a number of members of Parliament will be requesting for statements. Honorable John Kagushia, the Honorable Member for Mukurweini, will be seeking answers on the death of Mr. Simon Warui, who died in police custody in Central Police Station in Mombasa County, and his statement will be handled by
the business of the day.
Order number 1, administration of oath. Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Order, members. Member for Kieni. Order. Order. You freeze where you are, honorable member. Member for, yes, Webuye, Honorable Wanyama. Honorable members, I have a communication on the recognition of a delegation from the County Assembly of Elgeyo Marakwet. Honorable members, I wish to introduce to you a delegation from the County Assembly of Elgeyo Marakwet who are seated in the Speaker's Gallery. The delegation comprises 6 members from the Elgeyo Marakwet County Assembly, Select Committee on Members' Welfare, Catering, and Library Services. They are, number 1, the Honorable Tabitha Kimoning, Chairperson, the Honorable Evelyn Kipto, Vice Chairperson, the Honorable Benjamin Cheptioni, Member, the Honorable Stella Jeruto, Member, the Honorable Matthew Cheriot, Member, and the Honorable Davis Biwot, Member. Honorable members, the delegation is accompanied by 6 members of staff. Are on a visit to benchmark with the National Assembly, Parliamentary Broadcasting and Library Committee to learn, share experiences, best practices and challenges in executing their mandates. Honorable members, on my own behalf and that of the National Assembly, I welcome them to the Parliament and to wish them fruitful engagements. I thank you. Honorable members, let us welcome the members as have been introduced in the gallery. I will indulge the member for Marakwet West. You are even getting help from CPA, Honorable Ruto, to lift your hand, but you've already caught my attention. Timothy, you have 2 minutes maximum.
Yeah, thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me an opportunity to welcome the delegation from the County Assembly of Elgeyo Marakwet as they visit this Parliament so that they can pick the best practices from this legislature. Honorable Speaker, prior to coming to this Parliament, I worked in the County Assembly of Elgeyo Marakwet as a legal counsel from the year 2013 to the year 2022, where I resigned and sought election by the people, from the people of Marakwet West to be elected as their member of Parliament. Therefore, Honorable Speaker, I have a lot of attachment to the aforesaid County Assembly, and this morning we hosted them before the Committee on Broadcasting and Library, where they got the best practices from this legislature, which is the best legislature in south of Sahara and north of Limpopo. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
I also want to confirm, I saw you during lunch hour. I don't know whether you're still doing inspection or buying them lunch. But honorable members, allow me to just welcome them to the House and to watch the proceedings of this House. Next order.
Order number 3, messages. Order number 4, petitions.
Honorable members, we have a petition from Honorable Makali Mulu. Order. Honorable members, allow me to convey this public petition, number 15 of 2025, regarding the enactment of a legislation to regulate proliferation of theological colleges in the country. Honorable members, Article 119 of the Constitution accords any person the right to petition Parliament to consider any matter within its authority. Further, Standing Order 2252B requires the Speaker to report to the House any petition other than those presented by a member. Honorable members, in this regard, I wish to report to the House that my office has received a petition from the Reverend Josiah Njiro wa Joshua, Chairman of the Association of Pentecostal Vocational Training Institutions of Kenya, APVOTIK, an association registered under the Societies Act, and with over 200 Bible colleges across Kenya. The petition acknowledges that although Article 8 of the Constitution provides that there shall be no state religion in Kenya, meaning Kenya is a secular state, Article 32 guarantees the freedom of conscience, religion, thought, belief, and opinion. The petitioner notes that in recent years, there have been a proliferation of theological colleges, Bible schools, and online ministry training platforms, especially those affiliated to Pentecostal, charismatic, and indigenous movements, many of which operate without an episcopal order. While this growth has enhanced access to theological education, it has also led to challenges inter alia, absence of a substandardized curriculum, questionable accreditation of some institutions, emergence of diploma mills in quotes, and unverified degrees, doctrinal confusion, and pastoral unpreparedness, and disparities in ministerial competence across denominations. Honorable members, the petitioner is concerned that the lack of a recognized regulatory framework tailored to theological education has implications for credibility, quality assurance, and the integrity of ministry within the church community. Existing statutes, such as the TVET Act, the Universities Act, and the Kenya National Qualifications Framework Act, primarily address secular education and do not cater for the unique character of sacred and spiritual training. The petitioner prays that the House considers enacting a law to allow the Pentecostal and evangelical religious sector to establish a self-regulatory authority to manage theological education. Such an authority will accredit theological institutions and programs, recognize prior learning, RPL, protecting those already serving in ministry, and preserving doctrinal integrity among its following. Honorable members, the petitioner therefore prays that the National Assembly considers enacting a legislation expressly providing for regulation of theological training and education within the Pentecostal, charismatic, and indigenous church community, standardization of curricula, accreditation of spirit-filled, biblically faithful, and academically sound institutions, accountability and integrity in ministering training, facilitation of contextual theological research, regional and global networking for academic and ministerial excellence. Honorable members, having established that this matter raised in the petition is well within the authority of this House, and further that the matters raised in this petition are not pending before any court of law, constitutional or legal body, I hereby commit the petition to the Public Petitions Committee for consideration pursuant to Standing Order 208A. The committee is required to consider the petition and report its findings to the House and to the petitioner in accordance with the Standing Order 2272. I thank you. Member for Funyula.
Thank you. That's the beauty of our new constitution, that any member of the public can petition Parliament on any matters falling under the sun. Honorable Speaker, the petition raises very pertinent issues, and many of us who are here who have listened to the petition, we are at least, to the very least, baffled that such a petition, such a prayer can be presented in the Parliament. For a start, Honorable Speaker, the religious community has been against any form of regulation for very good reason, because they want to be allowed to express and submit their views and doctrine to their followers unchallenged and I mean without any drawbacks. And now we get baffled if they even want, Honorable Speaker, to regulate how they teach, how they train, how they do whatever they do. It is very interesting, Honorable Speaker. Thirdly, Honorable Speaker, the mere fact that you are a Christian, the mere fact that you are ordained and you can stand in the pulpit and preach, there is an assumption that you are well-meaning, you are preaching the word of God. For you again to be taught to how to preach it and get all these things, then probably this exposes the challenges, the malady, and where the problem of this country lies. Honorable Speaker, religion should be a way to the Almighty God, to heaven. Religion should not lead us anywhere. As much as there's that freedom of expression, as much as there's right to petition, I truly believe this petition could end up being a waste of public time and public resources. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
I can see there's quite some interest. Maximum of 2 minutes. Member for Sigowet Soin. Quick comments.
Yeah.
Don't debate.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I want to join Professor Oundo in saying this is quite strange. It is not something that should have come to this House, but since any citizen of this country is within the constitutional right of bringing anything to Parliament, we accept to look at it. Ordinarily, Madam Speaker, we would expect religious institutions on their own to form their own ethics and to, provide guidance to the people they minister to without the involvement of the National Assembly. However, Madam Speaker, since it has come here, it would be interesting to listen to the petitioner and find out really what makes him think the institution of Parliament should be able to regulate religious teaching in this country. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
If you're intending to speak on this, use the intervention. I want to alert the House that in the Speaker's gallery, we have the petitioners who are listening to these sentiments. And we have, if they are in the gallery, stand up if you're in the gallery. Reverend Josiah Njiro and your team, they are here. So, first of all, honorable members, can you welcome them to the, to the gallery to observe the proceedings? I will give this chance to the member for Emuhaya.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and thank you for the petitioner. This is a petition that ordinarily I find interesting because we have kept away from regulating religion for a reason. And now religious leaders want us to do a syllabus and regulate them. Unfortunately, I have respect for the petitioners who are in the gallery, but I find them possibly looking for a way of becoming a monopoly or an oligopoly of some sort of running colleges. But there's freedom of religion. Remember, Honorable Speaker, theology goes far to deal with eschatology. In eschatology, they now deal with matters death, with matters end of the world, and with matters apocalypse, which sometimes are inspired. So I don't know how Parliament can really make a regulation on eschatology. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Very well. Member for Kinangop, keep it short.
Yeah, thank you, Speaker. I find this a very interesting petition. And over a long time, we have attempted to bring about regulations that would go about to regulate religious organizations and churches. But I find it very interesting, from the prayers of the petitioner that we have a standardized training of the 200 Bible schools that he has mentioned, or theological colleges that is mentioned. I do not see some level of homogeneity in terms of teachings. Every sect, or for that matter, has their own way of interpreting the scriptures. And therefore it becomes mission almost impossible to have regulations that are going to really have a standardized way of having the religious or theological colleges training the same way. I do not want to preempt debate, but I think to some extent is mission impossible.
Thank you. And honorable members, I can see the chair for Public Petitions Committee lifting his hand. And luckily for the petitioners, our chair is one Honorable Eric Mushangi, the only man who is in the House and has evidence that he saved on his head. But honorable member for Runyenjes, you will be the last one on this. Allow me to indulge members, take notes, so that you can be able to use that as you deal with the petition. Member for Kilgoris.
Madam Speaker, I support this petition to a great extent because the spirit of it, Madam Speaker, and members of Parliament should not run away from this responsibility. The Christian religion is based on a book called the Holy Bible, which has been developed over 2,000 years. And we cannot leave this book to clandestine groups of people who keep forming small colleges and claiming that they have understood a book that we have taken so long to develop over the years. The development of mediocre pastors cannot be allowed. It is not sensitive to our education to let people who are not educated to teach people who are not educated. How can the blind lead the blind? I think we should support this petition. It's really merited.
Honorable Murugara, member for Tharaka. I said if you intend to speak on this, use your intervention.
Yes, thank you so much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I too find this petition a bit curious due to the fact that previously there has been an attempt to come to this House to get laws regulating churches. And the churches have been the first ones to voice dissent, to say that churches, religious organizations, faiths must be self-regulating. This is purely because they are not uniform, they are diverse, and as such, we may have difficulties in coming up with what is uniform. Therefore, when it comes to religious teachings, which actually the churches themselves conduct, it will be difficult also to find harmony in trying to put these regulations together. So as they say that they have to regulate themselves, I would be of the view that the religious teachings must also be self-regulating from the churches. However, the petitioners are here. This House is going to listen to them, and we will communicate to them the decision. Thank you.
Member for Central Imenti.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to comment on this important motion, this important petition. Madam Speaker, I think the petition is timely. It's timely because this flourishing of different learning institutions of religion, some of them are misplaced. We have a chance, or we are under a chance of hearing that there are those people who are misleading others, to lead them to starvation, to lead them to unnecessary death, to lead them to practice which is not a Christian way, and it's necessary that they shouldn't be regulated. In one way or the other, this parliament and the state itself has failed the Kenyan Republic for failing to regulate these institutions as pertains to religion, because they are unable to regulate themselves. And if they are unable to regulate themselves, it's upon the state to take it as a matter of interest to have these flourishing teaching institutions referred as theological colleges, which some of them have no backing ground at all, to be regulated by the state. It's the duty of the state, because religion and the churches are just societies like any other society, and they require regulations. When we say that we keep away or we keep our hands off of it, we're exposing the society to the unnecessary suffering and to the unnecessary surrounding institutions, colleges, and pastors who are there just to extort money from the public unnecessarily. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
I will indulge a few more, but before then, allow me, because I know there is high traffic in the galleries, to recognize the following institutions. Number one, Kisii Farmers Cooperative Society Limited from Imenti South, Meru County. They are in the public gallery. Prestigious Vineyard Academy. When your name is called out, you stand. Prestigious Vineyard Academy from Embakasi East, Nairobi County. Kibini Primary School from Kajiado East constituency, Kajiado County. And Iviani School from Kitui West, Kitui County. And in the speakers gallery, both speakers and public galleries, we have Moi Avenue Primary School from Starehe constituency, Nairobi County. We will exhaust this matter, then I will indulge member for Starehe for 1 minute to help us welcome all our guests as they observe the proceedings of the House. The next chance to the member for Mombasa, Honorable Zamzam.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Spika, na mimi niweze kusema makanisa yana uhuru wa kuabudu na kufanya mambo yao Mheshimiwa Spika. Na lakini hata hivyo tumepata wengine wamefanya kanisa ni kama chumo. Tumeangalia kama Shakahola, watu wanauliwa, watu wanakufa kwa sababu ya mambo ya kufunzwa mambo ambayo si sawa. Licha ya kuwa wana uhuru wa kufanya mambo yao, lakini ni vizuri kuwekwa regulation ambayo itafanya wasikeuke haki za kibinadamu kwa wananchi na waweze kunyoshwa vizuri Mheshimiwa Spika. Hata sisi Waislamu tuna haki zetu, lakini zikija kuingiliwa pia hatuwezi kusikia vizuri kwa sababu ni haki ambazo zimewekwa na Mwenyezi Mungu. Lakini wale ambao wanaenda extreme, wanafanya mambo ambayo si sawa, lazima wawe regulated. Asante sana Mheshimiwa Spika.
Asante sana. Member Honorable Kangogo Bowen.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to support the petition and congratulate the gentlemen who have brought this petition. Madam Speaker, it is time that we take it up as a house, as a parliament, and to come up with the regulations. Because what we are seeing in Shakahola and other places, we have seen some radicalization. We have seen some cults, Honorable Speaker, in the name of religion. I want to ask my friend, the Honorable Karemba, the chair of the committee, that they should not focus on this petition alone. Let them look in entire religion or religious institutions so that we don't come with a piecemeal legislation, Honorable Chair, Honorable Speaker, but we come up with a legislation which cuts across the religion regulation in this country. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Member for Matuga.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Spika kwa hii fursa. Kwanza niweze kuwapatia pongezi wale ambao wameleta hii petition kwa sababu dini ni muhimu, dini sote tunajua Mwenyezi Mungu yupo, lakini endapo itatumika vibaya kama inavyotumika sasa, kiwango cha kuwa watu wanapatiwa mafunzo ambayo sio ya haki. Tulizungumzia Shakahola kipindi kilichopita, saa hizi tuna kwa Benzaro, tukitoka kwa Benzaro sijui tutaenda wapi. Na wote wanasema kwamba ni mafunzo ya kupitia dini. Kwa hivyo ni wakati kwamba tuweze kuweka sheria sio tu za Wakristo ama dini ya Kristo, lakini ziangaliwe dini zote. Kuna wakati paka dini yetu ya Kiislamu kuna wengine walikuwa wanatoa mafundisho ambayo hayakuwa mazuri, kwamba watu waweze kuchukua silaha ama waweze kwenda nchi fulani kwa kupigania dini ambayo hiyo haiko katika Qur'an. Kwa hivyo mimi naunga mkono hoja hii na imani tuko tayari kuweza kurekebisha na kudhibiti dini zetu na imani zetu ili zisilete madhara. Asante Mheshimiwa Speaker.
Member for Buri.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. In as much as that I agree with the petitioners, we need to be very careful when it comes to the matters of regulating the churches. Madam Speaker, I know historically there have been differences in many denominations, and they all have their own values which they subscribe to, and having the Bible as the basic book of doctrine. Madam Speaker, any attempt to force one curricula for theology teachings, Madam Speaker, I don't think whether it is a viable solution to the doctrinal problems that we are experiencing. Mr. Speaker, I know in the Constitution, Madam Speaker, sorry, I apologize. Madam Speaker, when it comes to the legislation of various churches or ministries, that is where we need to have a policy that certain conditions need to be met. But in terms of regulating how the theology will be taught, I don't think whether that's the best thing that we can do. Because you go to different universities teaching the same subject, but different approaches. So I don't see why we should have one theological curriculum for all the churches. What we need to be very careful is those people who are coming in, there must be conditions as to which must be met by anybody who is registering a ministry or a church. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Chief Whip.
Madam Speaker, this is a very sensitive topic and petition per se. Matters religion are very spiritual. And really, it takes a calling for one to even become a pastor, to preach the gospel and everything. We need to be very careful. On the question of curriculum, Madam Speaker, my thinking would be that even as we ventilate on this point, we then need to allow the religious bodies to have their own self-regulation through interdenominational structures, that they come together, they agree that this is the common agreed structure. But to the question of churches, you know, getting regulations and everything, I mean, really, Honorable Speaker, people get dreams at night to go and preach. People get visions. People are called to preach. It's servantship. You really cannot police servantship. We need to be very careful on that. I mean, you can't police people who are going to preach the gospel and called upon to preach. This is a very sensitive issue, and the state should be very careful. This house should be very careful on how they handle religious leaders, because it is a calling. Otherwise, we will fall trap, Honorable Speaker, you know, to demonic questions. And this is something that we really need to think through. So for me, regulation is okay, but it should be self-regulation through themselves and through their own bodies, but not policing the religious leaders. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Very well. Member for Tigania West.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, we are discussing a sensitive matter, but a matter that has taken a long time to be brought to the fore. Honorable Speaker, we always shy to the fact that churches need to be regulated, and also the content of the religious institutions need to be regulated. The approach taken, Honorable Speaker, is always based on trust, and trust can be dangerous. Trust is built out of continuous engagement of the mind of the worshippers. And Honorable Speaker, the only place where we have congregations, people who have been called to a meeting, or people volunteer to go to a meeting and listen without questioning, is the church. And Honorable Speaker, this has been misused in the past. In the past, at the introduction of the church, there never used to be individual church or individual entities owned by individuals. Today, those are the driving institutions in this country. There used to be conglomerates of people bringing up a church as an institution with clear guidelines on how the institution is going to intervene in the community. Honorable Speaker, as a result of this deviation, we have had a lot of issues associated with the church. So the teaching of the theology can be the same, but interpretation is what matters. And what people follow is interpretation. We need to look deeper into this issue even as we make a decision. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Member for Lunga Lunga, Honorable Chiforomodo.
Mheshimiwa Spika, asante sana kwa nafasi hii ambayo kama bunge tumepewa fursa, na kabla niendelee niunge mkono hoja hii, kwa sababu aliyeleta hoja amependekeza kwamba wakati huu wale ambao wanatoa mafunzo ya dini wawe na mtaala. Lakini ili swala, Mheshimiwa Spika, ni pana mno. Hata kama tutakuwa tunazungumzia kwamba tuwe na mfumo ambao unaelekezwa kimtaala na sheria, lakini pia tujue ya kwamba masuala haya ya imani ni masuala ambayo yanahitaji tuyachukulie kwa makini sana, kwa sababu kila watu ambao wana imani zao kulingana na dini na pia na lile dhehebu wanahitajika pia waheshimiwe, kwa sababu wana misingi ambayo imejengwa katika hiyo imani na pia katika hiyo dini ambayo wanaienzi. Lakini hata hivyo, kama bunge tuko na nafasi ya kuhakikisha ya kwamba tunaweka sera ambayo itakuwa inaelekeza nchi katika mwelekeo unaofahamika, kwa sababu tumekuwa na matukio ambayo, Mheshimiwa Spika, ni ya kuogofya na yanachafua jina la dini. Kwa hivyo tuko na nafasi na tunaunga mkono ya kwamba tuwe na mwelekeo na sera kuhusu masomo ya dini ya Kikristo. Asante.
Honorable Ferdinand Kevin Wanyonyi, member for Kwanza.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I just want to take this opportunity to say that we must do something, and I want to actually thank the petitioner that at this country, I think we are going the wrong way. Every day, you see somebody waking up because he has nothing to do, he carries a Bible and starts his own religion. And I think, although I say much as we have got the freedom of worship and whatever, I think we need to do something on the regulation of this because there are too many. Some of them, they just want to make money. In fact, I have a case where a so-called pastor says to come on a Saturday or it was a Sunday, you must have at least 200 shillings with you to come and do the worshiping. Is that what's supposed to be? Well, all I'm saying is that let's regulate these so-called religions so they can be able to move forward, because otherwise we are taking this country in a wrong direction. And therefore, I think the petitioners are right. I think the issue here is not actually stopping anybody, but let's have at least regulation on some of these ones. I am myself a serious Catholic follower, but I don't say that everybody must be a Catholic. But I'm telling you, there's a problem in this country. Let's do the regulation.
Honorable Rahim.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I do not agree with this petition. Madam Speaker, yes, everybody has a right of worship. And, you know, when those, we are saying mushrooming churches and all that, I myself have done theology in university. And I do not think that we need to, you know, the word of God should go to each and every person. There is no reason that you stop. The only thing I agree with is Honorable Zamzam talking that we do not need the Shakahola types. But let us not condemn the churches, the small churches, because they are having an impact. Madam Speaker, if you go to the UK, churches are being closed and being turned into other things. At least in this country, we have got religion still with us. And if we stop the people preaching, then we will be doing the wrong thing. We'll be doing a disservice. Let the mainstream churches not try to gag the small churches, although sometimes we have even one with one church is a bishop. What's wrong with that? There is nothing wrong with that, Madam Speaker, so I oppose this petition.
We will close with the chair of the Public Petitions Committee.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Speaker. This is, Madam Speaker, this is truly a very interesting petition, and I am glad to see the excitement and the interest from the members regarding this petition. But I want to agree with the members who have seen that it is important to have a regulation on the matter, on the space of the religion. And I want to disagree with the members that think that this
Honorable Chair, you don't even need to help the Speaker. Public Petitions Chair, you cannot purport to take a position on a petition that you're supposed to preside upon. So, all the members, I do not need assistance. Honorable Member for Runyenjes, you will consider this petition with its merits and bring to this floor a report in the next 60 days.
I oblige, Madam Speaker.
The next 90 days.
I'll do that, Honorable Speaker. Thank you.
Order, members. Order, members. We have dispensed off with that order. There is nothing further to it. Honorable Member for Starehe, I will indulge you to welcome your students that are still in the public gallery.
They are still there. Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. for giving me this opportunity to welcome students from Moi Avenue Primary School, a school in Nairobi CBD, here in town, in Starehe constituency. And it is also my pleasure to take this opportunity to welcome all other institutions in Parliament today. And I also take this opportunity to wish all students and all candidates who are going to sit for the exams later this month, I wish them success, students from Starehe constituency and students from all over the country. Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. Thank you so much.
Very well. Next order.
Order number 5, papers. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following papers on the table of the House today, Thursday, October 2nd, 2025. Number 1, the annual report for the financial year 2024-2025 from the National Police Service Commission. 2, audited financial statements for the year ended 30th June 2025 from the Central Bank of Kenya. And 3, the reports of the Auditor General and financial statements for the year ended 30th June 2025 and the certificates therein in respect of the Local Authorities Provident Fund, the Public Service Superannuation Fund, Retirement Benefits Authority, and Capital Markets Authority. Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay.
We have another set of papers. Chair, members, facilities.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the House today, Thursday, 2nd October 2025. Report of the Select Committee on Member Services and Facility on its inspection visit to constituencies, offices in Siaya, Kisumu, Narok, and Bomet counties.
Do we have a set of papers? No. Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Chairperson of the Select Committee on Member Services, you have a notice of motion?
Yes. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I beg to give a notice of the following motion that this House adopts the report of the Select Committee on Member Services and Facilities on the inspection visit to constituency offices in Siaya, Kisumu, Narok, and Bomet counties, read in the table of the House on Thursday, 2nd October 2025.
Next order.
Order number 7, questions and statements.
Honorable members, we have some statements, requests, and responses. I will indulge the member for Emuhaya to go first.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Pursuant to provisions of Standing Order 44.2c, I wish to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Education regarding the ongoing verification of the number of students in all schools in the country. Honorable Speaker, the Minister of Education is currently undertaking a nationwide verification exercise to ascertain accurate student enrollment figures across all schools. This initiative aims to address the issue of inflated enrollment data to ensure the proper disbursement of government funds. The audit has identified over 50,000 ghost students in secondary schools alone, as well as anomalies such as classrooms existing only on paper. The ongoing verification is essential for correcting resource allocation, preventing corruption, and enhancing the reliability of education planning data. However, the timing of this exercise during the third term, coinciding with Form 4 students and those in grade 9 and 6 preparing for their national examinations, has led to significant challenges. As a result, many primary and secondary schools are currently without capitation funds. Honorable Speaker, While the verification process is undoubtedly commendable, the broader education sector is currently facing significant challenges. Only 8,000 out of the 15,000 junior schools have been vetted and cleared. Similarly, only 11,000 out of the 24,000 secondary schools have undergone vetting. Despite this, the schools cleared so far continue to await for capitation disbursements. Further, university students remain out of class due to ongoing disruption as a result of the university lecturer strike. This situation demands urgent attention to preserve the stability and effective functioning of our education system. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I request for a statement from the chairperson for the Departmental Committee on Education on the following. 1. Plans put in place by the Ministry of Education to ensure that all schools receive capitation to facilitate them during the third term, given that the national exams are about to commence. 2. Measures being put in place by the Ministry of Education to ensure smooth operation of schools despite the ongoing verification process by sending a minimum 50% of the capitation to schools. 3. Actions being taken by the ministry to uncover the ghost schools that had received funds for both infrastructure, capitation, and examination purposes. 4. Steps being taken to resolve the ongoing university lecturer strike to ensure learning of university students. And finally, the expected time frame for concluding the verification to enable schools to resume normal operations. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable members, the chair for Education Committee, this is not a new issue. Remember, I raised it last week. Vice Chair, bring the response next week on Wednesday. It is an urgent matter. Next week, Wednesday.
Yes, Madam Speaker, we will do.
Honorable member for, I will indulge honorable member for Mukurweini. We go to the honorable member for Moyale, Professor Guyo Jaldesa.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 44.2c, I rise to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Administration and Internal Security regarding police harassment and restrictions on small-scale mining activities in Moyale constituency. Madam Speaker, Moyale constituency is abundantly endowed with vast natural resources, including significant deposits of gold and chromite. Regrettably, these resources have not translated into tangible benefits for the local communities. Instead, our people continue to face economic marginalization and constant harassment. On 22nd September, Madam Speaker, 2025, 40 artisanal miners, men and women struggling to earn a decent living, were arrested, arraigned in court, and each fined Kenya shillings 20,000. Madam Speaker, these individuals were not engaging on any mining activities in areas which are said to be restricted under the General Service Unit and other security agencies. Rather, they were carrying out small-scale mining in Golbo Ward, including Ilo area, which is part of their ancestral land. Honorable Speaker, mining in Ilo has provided vital employment, sustained livelihoods, and served as a barrier against radicalization by engaging youth productively. It has created opportunities not just for the miners themselves, but also for transporters, traders, and other dependents within the community. It's therefore disheartening that instead of facilitation, our people are being subjected to intimidation, arrest, and harassment. Honorable Speaker, it's against this background that I seek a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Administration and Internal Security on the following. An inquiry by the committee into the alleged harassment and restrictions on small-scale mining activities, particularly at illegal gold mining sites in Moyale constituency. Steps being taken by the government to repeal any gazette notice or administrative measures that prohibit artisanal mining in unrestricted areas by the residents of Golbo Ward in order to safeguard the residents' rights to property and social rights under the Article 43 of the Constitution of Kenya. And finally, oversight measures in place to assure the protection of the people of Moyale from insecurity and police harassment, including measures that will be instituted to safeguard their livelihood, freedom, and security. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Chairperson, Administration and Internal Security, 2 weeks.
You had already given direction, Chair.
Yeah.
But I think it's also good to note that our good professor knows that this has been a death trap site in his constituency, and it has been an issue for too long. There was a time that we lost the majority of Kenyans. So the police, I don't want to preempt the answer, but I know the police have been there to maintain peace and some level of order to prevent more death. But as directed by the Speaker, 2 weeks, I will come with a response.
Very well. Member for Udhaya. What is it, Professor?
I think what there is that deaths or no deaths, the police are there to protect the people. Why should there be deaths when the police are there to protect? He's actually admitting failure by the security agencies. It's not, the closure is
Professor,
not... Excuse.
Order. You have 2 weeks. You can raise further questions at that point. Member for Udhaya.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Request for statement regarding the high water tariff in Udhaya Adimokoroni constituency, Nyeri County. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to provision of Standing Order 44-2C, I like to request a statement from the Chairperson of the Department Committee on Blue Economy, Water and Irrigation regarding the recent sharp increase in water tariff in Udhaya Adimokoroni constituency in Nyeri County. Honorable Speaker, Udhaya Mukurweini Water and Sanitation Company Limited, or MWASCO, is the main water service delivery entirely in Udhaya Adimokoroni constituency. Recently, the Water Services Company, through the Water Services Regulatory Board, WASREB, reviewed the water tariff upward. Under the new structure charges, vary according to consumption block and customer categories, with domestic and residential consumer now paying between Kenya shillings 90 shillings per cubic meter, up from 33 per cubic meter. This step increase coming after a series of tariff hikes in the recent years has sparked widespread public outrage, leading to protest by the residents. The residents are particularly concerned that the decision to review the water tariff was made without public participation or consultation with the various stakeholders. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I request the Chairperson of Departmental Committee of Blue Economy, Water and Irrigation to apprise the House on the following. Circumstances that led to the high increase of water tariff by MWASCO. The step taken by the Ministry of Water, Irrigation and Sanitation through the Water Services Regulation Board to regulate water tariff increasement in Udhaya and Udhaya constituency, and the plan in place to ensure the WASREB reconsider the review of water tariff by MWASCO to ensure fairness, equity, and affordability to service provision across Nyeri County. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Chairperson, Blue Economy, Water and Irrigation, 2 weeks.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. In 2 weeks' time, I will bring a response.
Very well. Allow me to welcome students in the public gallery. Number 1, Nairobi South Day Secondary School from Starehe constituency, Nairobi County. Number 2, Muhoroni Furaha School from Muhoroni constituency, Kisumu County. Join me in welcoming them to observe the proceedings of the House. I will indulge the majority leader to move to give the normal Thursday statement.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 44.2a, I rise to give the following statement. On behalf of the House Business Committee, which met on Tuesday, 30th September 2025, to prioritize business for consideration during the week. With regards to business scheduled for next week, the House is expected to continue with the second reading of the Intergovernmental Relations Amendment Bill, Senate Bill number 12 of 2024. Additionally, Honorable Speaker, debate will be undertaken on the following motions, some of which are listed in today's order paper. 1, consideration of the 7th report on examination of financial statements of selected state corporations. 2, consideration of sessional paper number 5 of 2024 on the National Green Fiscal Incentives Policy Framework. 3, consideration of comprehensive economic partnership agreement between the Republic of Kenya and the United Arab Emirates. 4, consideration of the reports of the East African Legislative Assembly at the 4th meeting of the second session of the 5th Assembly. And 5, consideration of the privileges and immunities, the Global Center for Adaptation Order of 2025. Also, Honorable Speaker, we will be considering in Committee of the Whole House the following bills. 1, the Virtual Asset Service Providers Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 15 of 2025, should it not be concluded today. 2, the Kenya Roads Amendment number 3 Bill, National Assembly Bill number 34 of 2025 by the Honorable Peter Kaluma, again, should it not be concluded today. 3, is a privatization bill of 2025, Honorable Speaker, and the Roads Amendment Bill by Honorable Naisula Lesuda. Those, again, are scheduled for debate and conclusion in the Committee of the Whole House next week. And Honorable Speaker, it is important that all members, including the member for Narok, to pay attention, and the member for Kajiado North who is on phone, to pay attention. Because, Honorable Speaker, I saw yesterday a group of members led by the member for Narok, Kajiado North, purporting that they have been ambushed. And you know, Honorable Speaker, every Thursday I read this statement detailing the business that is scheduled for next week to be considered by the House Business Committee. And the House Business Committee sits on Tuesday at noon to schedule business and order it in the order that will appear before the House. So there can never be anything like ambush in this House. And therefore, I was just drawing attention to the member for Kajiado and the member for Narok so that they pay attention because this is where we transact business, not in press conferences, Honorable Speaker. And it's important that we pay attention to what is before the House. So those who may have amendments in any of those bills, from the virtual assets that we are considering today to the others that I have read, please be prepared so that you do not say that you have been ambushed. Honorable Speaker, in accordance with the provisions of Standing Order 42A, 5 and 6, I wish to convey that the Cabinet Secretary for Education is scheduled to appear before the House on the afternoon of Wednesday, 8th October 2025 to respond to the following questions. 1, question by private notice number 11 of 2025 by the member for Muhaya, the Honorable Mboko Milemba, CBS MP, regarding funding for participation by public primary and secondary schools in core curricular activities. 2, question by private notice number 013 of 2025 by the member for Muhaya, the Honorable Mboko Milemba, CBS MP, regarding the ongoing verification of student enrollment in schools across the country. Honorable Speaker, these are very good questions because they touch on school capitation. Again, because many of us are fond of speaking in funerals about school capitation, this is where to come and put the minister to task. 3, and I must thank the member for Muhaya for putting those questions, is question by private notice number 014 of 2025 by the member for Isiolo County, the Honorable Mumina Bonaya MP, regarding the rollout of a new centralized student database system known as the Kenya Education Management Information System, KEMIS, intended to replace the existing NEMIS, or the National Education Management Information System. 4 is question number 070 of 2025 by the member for Keyo South, the Honorable Gideon Moi MP, regarding reduction in capitation funding for public primary and secondary schools and measures taken to ensure equitable access of quality education for all learners. 5 is question number 071 of 2025 by the member for Matayos, the Honorable Geoffrey Odanga MP, regarding the challenges faced by Kenyans with foreign qualifications in obtaining an equation of their foreign certificates from the Kenya National Examinations Council, NEC. And 6 is question number 072 of 2025 by the member for Baringo Central, the Honorable Joshua Kandie MP, regarding placements of students to the Kenya Medical Training College, KMTC, by the Kenya Universities and Colleges Central Placement Services, or COUPS. Finally, Honorable Speaker, the House Business Committee will reconvene again on Tuesday, 7th October 2025, to schedule any other priority business for the rest of the week. The member for Kajiado can hear that. The House Business Committee will meet on Tuesday, 7th October, to schedule any other priority business for the rest of the week. I now wish to lay this statement on the table of the House, and thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I am, the member for Kajiado North is my very good friend, the Honorable Ngogoyo, and because he's having his first term in this House, I have to keep signaling him to pay attention, because I saw he's very fond of going to transact business in press conferences with others who are not even in the House. Yesterday, when we were transacting business here, they collected 5 other MPs who are not even in the House and went to stage a press conference purporting we have been ambushed. How can you be ambushed when you're not in the House? I saw the member for Naivasha, the member for the self-abductor, member for Juja, saying that they have been ambushed. You cannot be ambushed in the House, because every Thursday we read this statement pointing out what business is scheduled in the coming week. Number 2, Honorable Speaker, every one of us, the 349 of us, 345 with the exception of the 4 members who are not here, the 345 members of parliament, we are paid by the Kenyan people through their taxes. Not to attend press conferences, but to be working in the chamber or in committee, because there is no business conducted in press conferences.
You have made your point.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Majority Leader. Member for North Imenti, you have a statement?
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, request for statement regarding inclusion of Imenti sub-county in the upcoming Kenya Defence Forces recruitment. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 44.2c, I rise to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Defense, Intelligence and Foreign Relations regarding the inclusion of Imenti East Sub-County in the forthcoming Kenya Defence Forces recruitment exercise. Honorable Madam Speaker, on the 15th of September 2025, the Ministry of Defense advertised the upcoming recruitment of General Service Officer Cadets, Specialist Officers, General Duty Recruits and Defense Forces Constables to the Kenya Defense Forces, KDF. The recruitment exercise is scheduled to take place in October 2025 across sub-counties in the country as listed in the published advertisement. However, Imenti East Sub-County, which is in my constituency, was gazetted on the 17th of March 2022 and subsequently operationalized on 9th September 2025, is not included in the published recruitment schedule. This omission denies many qualified youths from the area an opportunity to serve the nation through the KDF. Notably, Article 10 of the Constitution enshrines equity, inclusiveness, equality as a core national values and principles of governance. The exclusion of some sub-counties from such a national recruitment exercise, therefore, raises concerns on inclusiveness and fairness in the KDF recruitment process. Honorable Madam Speaker, it is against this background that I request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Defense, Intelligence and Foreign Relations on the following. 1. Plans by the Ministry of Defense to ensure that Imenti East Sub-County is included in the upcoming KDF recruitment exercise. And 2. The measures the ministry has put in place to ensure the upcoming recruitment exercise and any future recruitment processes cover all sub-counties in the country in line with the constitutional principles of inclusivity and equal opportunity. I thank you, Honorable Madam Chair, MP Nodimenti. Madam Chair,
Not Chair.
Madam Speaker, the recruitment is starting on the 12th, so I hope...
Honorable Member for Central Imenti, North Imenti, give the chair, give the Speaker a moment first to determine about your statement before you debate it. Okay.
Madam Speaker, I'm not taking your role from you, but I just want to say that I hope you will rule that it should be given by next Thursday because the recruitment is starting from the 13th of October.
Honorable Rahim,
thank you.
I hear you. I just want to bring to your attention that statements you should read as it is first. The Chair of Defense, not in the House. Vice Chair, not in the House. Majority Leader, this issue on recruitment, there were many others that were raised last week. Can they all be collapsed into one response to be brought next week, latest Thursday? Because they are urgent.
Okay, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Before we go to the next statement, allow me to recognize in the public gallery Kiambuthia Primary School from Mathioya constituency in Murang'a County. Join me in welcoming them to observe the proceedings of the House. Next member is the member for Mwingi Central.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I request for statement regarding the tax arrears owed to Kenya Revenue Authority by various NG-CDF committees. Madam Speaker, yes, CDF, and I think this is important for members to pay attention to.
Prosecute your statement, Honorable Mulyungi.
Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order number 44-2C, I wish to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Finance and National Planning regarding the disputed tax arrears owed to the Kenya Revenue Authority by various National Government Constituencies Development Fund, NG-CDF constituency committees, which was picked during our audit. Honorable Speaker, in 2021, the National Government Constituencies Development Fund Board received a communication from the Kenya Revenue Authority demanding payment of tax arrears owing to certain constituencies. Most of the affected constituencies disputed the tax assessments and commenced a process of engaging officers of the Kenya Revenue Authority. However, Madam Speaker, the matter remained unresolved. Madam Speaker, subsequently, a meeting of the NG-CDF board and KRI was held on the 21st of December 2021, in which various issues were discussed, including tax accountability on labor-based contracts, collection of tax arrears, appointment of fund account managers as VAT withholding tax agents, amongst others. Despite numerous engagements between the NG-CDF board and KRA, the matters have remained pending. As of 31st of May 2025, the KRA authority is demanding tax arrears to constituencies amounting to 2.2 billion from the NG-CDF committees. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I seek a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Finance and National Planning on the following. Number one, a clarification on the current status of the arrears owed by each constituency with a detailed breakdown of the amounts outstanding to each. Number two, an outline of the specific steps being taken by KRA and the NGCDA board to resolve the matter, including clear timelines for settlement of the same. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Very well. Chair Finance, Vice Chair, Majority Leader, kindly let the Chair Finance know to bring a response in the next 2 weeks. I have called for the membership, but they have had 2 weeks. Honorable Ali Wario, member for Garsen. If you're not in the house, it will be deferred to the next time. It will be scheduled. Member for Nandi Hills. Honorable Bernard Kitur.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Pursuant to the provision of Standing Order 44(2)C, I rise to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Transport and Infrastructure regarding the installation of safe road measures along the Moi University, Lesos Road. Honorable Speaker, the Kenya Rural Roads Authority, KERA, recently completed the construction of the Moi University, Lesos Road. However, the road currently lacks critical safety features, including properly designed speed bumps, clear road markings, and adequate signages. This has exposed motorists and other road users to safety risks. Since the completion of the road, 2 separate accidents have occurred at the Bombo Bridge section near Koisakat village in Lesos, tragically resulting in 4 fatalities. These incidents have been reportedly attributed to the absence of appropriate speed control measures and adequate signages, and have raised concerns among residents and road users regarding the adequacy of safety interventions. Honorable Speaker, it's against this background that I request for a statement from the Chairperson, Departmental Committee on Transport and Infrastructure on the following. Number one, plans by KERA to install properly designed and clearly marked speed bumps, erect proper signages, and additional safety interventions such as reflective road lighting to reduce the risk of accidents along the road. Number two, expected timelines for completion of the installation of these road safety measures. And thirdly, measures to put in place by the ministry and KERA to ensure regular maintenance of safety installations in order to guarantee the safety of road users along Moi University, Lesos Road. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Very well. Member, Chairperson, Transport and Infrastructure, 2 weeks. Honorable GK.
2 weeks is okay, Honorable Speaker.
Very well. Honorable Umulher Harun. Is she in the house? If not, that is deferred to the next time. It will be scheduled on the order paper. Honorable Kagusha, are you in the house? If not in the house, it will be rescheduled to the next available time on the order paper. We shall go to the statements that are being responded to. Number one is the statement for the rehabilitation and development of herding grounds by Honorable Adan Keinan. Is he in the house? Honorable, is he in the house? Yes. Chairperson, Agriculture and Livestock, you have a response? Kindly go on.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the response I'm going to read through, and I hope Honorable Kenan is listening because he's the one who asked this question. I just go on. Okay, Honorable Speaker. The statement regarding the rehabilitation and development of herding grounds, and migratory routes in pastoral regions of Kenya, of northern Kenya, asked by the Honorable Adan Kenan. The first question, Honorable Speaker, was asking the Minister to state the measures being taken by the Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock Development to identify, geomap, and gazette traditional migratory routes, communal hunting grounds, and the pastoral zones in northern Kenya. I have summarized the response, and I believe the Honorable Kenyan has looked through it, so I'll just read the issues that I've extracted from the report from the ministry. The response, Honorable Speaker, captured the fact that the ministry, through the Kenya Redland Ecological Monitoring Unit, or KREMU, has been mapping and geo-referencing rangelands since the 1980s. Surveys produced management handbook for specific districts, identifying migratory routes, grazing land, game parks, and reserves. Kenya has initiated a new agenda to transform underdeveloped, or underdocumented, or undocumented pastoral routes into official maps to guide investments, safeguard livestock mobility, and improve infrastructure. The Livestock Marketing Division developed that one stock routes linking northern pastoral areas to Nairobi and Mombasa markets, including holding grounds and quarantine facilities. The current efforts include the following. Number one, reviving and gazetting holding grounds and communal grazing areas. The second one is improving transport and infrastructure for trekking livestock. The third one is using mapped data for future planning, policy, and investment. And the final effort captured here is protecting rangelands from encroachment by private use, security installations, and urban expansion. The second question, Honorable Speaker, was to state the interventions being made by the ministry in collaboration with the county governments and relevant water agencies to rehabilitate degraded grazing zones and livestock holding grounds, improve water infrastructure such as water pans and kiosks along key livestock migratory corridors. And the response is as follows. The ministry, together with the county governments, water agencies, and development partners, is implementing several interventions to restore rangelands, improve water access, and strengthen livestock management systems in the ASAL areas. And these are the key interventions. Number one is rehabilitation of rangeland and grazing zones. There is rescinding, which is ongoing, degraded rangelands to increase pasture production. Capacity building for the community-based rangeland management committees to enhance sustainable use and reduce drought risks. Also encouraging pastoralists to respect carrying capacities of grazing land in order to sustain the grazing land for long term. The second intervention is improvement of water infrastructure through expansion and rehabilitation of water pans, boreholes, water kiosks along migratory corridors, matching them with forage availability. The third intervention is development and the strengthening of livestock holding grounds. And there is one strategic intervention which is increasing investments that encompasses registration and surveying of strategic holding grounds, development of infrastructure that is holding pens, paddocks, dips, spray races, feedlots, irrigation systems, staff housing, boreholes, water storage tanks, diagnostic labs, transport, and fodder stores. The second strategic intervention is legal and policy frameworks, which encompasses developing a livestock marketing strategy, reviewing and amending the policies and legal instruments, gazetting county and the national holding grounds, building stakeholder capacity on livestock trade standards. The third strategic intervention is coordination and management, which encompasses establishing decentralized coordination and management structures, creating holding ground management committees and user associations, posting technical staff, and creating monitoring and reporting systems. The fourth intervention is enhancing production and marketing, which has to do with stratification of programs, feedlots, specialized businesses, and support through National Livestock Development Services, which is a semi-autonomous government agency. And the final one is diversification and value addition, which has to do with improvements on beekeeping, improved breeding stock, improvement of breeding stock, and integrated camel production and marketing. The third question, Honorable Speaker, has sought the ministry to state the mechanisms put in place to mitigate and resolve inter-community conflicts of access to grazing land, including strategies to ensure that traditional livestock corridors remain demarcated, accessible, and safe for seasonal pastoral movement, especially in border regions and known conflict spots. And the response is as follows. The first mechanism is participatory ridgeland management, where communities are involved in mapping resources, planning interventions, and managing ridgelands to minimize conflicts. The second one is community institutional development, which are strengthened to manage shared resources. The third one is alternative dispute resolution mechanism, which is an intercommunity dialogue, negotiation, and agreement for peaceful coexistence. The fourth one is security interventions, which include patrols in hotspots areas by security agencies. And the final one is hosting mechanisms, where there is provision of hosting migratory communities when survival requires movement beyond the borders. The fourth question was to state the plans put in place to integrate the protection and development of migratory routes and communal grazing lands into the National Spatial Plan and the County Integrated Development Plans, particularly within the arid and semi-arid lands, with a view of securing pastoral livelihoods and promoting sustainable resource management. And the response is as follows. In view of the spatial planning collaboration, the ministry works with the Ministry of Lands and county governments to safeguard grazing resources and migratory corridors. There is an act, the Community Lands Act 2016, which provides for registration of community land to secure pastoralists access. And the strategies adopted include the following. One of them is strengthening ridgeland management institutions, restoring ridgeland health and productivity. The third one is supporting commercial feed production and cooperatives. The fourth one is establishing strategic livestock feed reserves and community feedlots. The fifth one is breeding program to support the meat industry. 6, enhancing extension services and access to finance. 7, strengthening disease surveillance and control. 8, implementing livestock identification and traceability system. And 9, establishing livestock quarantine facilities. The final question, Honorable Speaker, was to give an indication of whether the government has allocated funding or established partnerships with the regional bodies such as the Intergovernmental Authority on Development or IGAD to establish critical pastoral infrastructure such as fodder reserves, feedlots, livestock holding grounds, veterinary health outposts. Honorable Speaker, protect me from Honorable Ngeleche, who has decided to have a presentation as I go on. And then also the conflict early warning system among key migratory routes. The response is as follows. Number one, in terms of the funding, we have national investment. These are resources allocated for pasture, water, and animal health services through projects such as ALPRO. ALPRO is ASAL-based livestock and rural livelihood support program. There is LRP, which is Regional Pastoral Livestock Resilience Project, and FSRP, which is Food Systems Resilience Project. The second one is IGAD, which has an IGAD Transhumance Protocol, which encourages targeted cross-border investment to enhance productivity and reduce conflict. There is a project called BREFONS, which runs from 2022 to 2027 and funded by AFDP, supporting resilience, agribusiness, climate adaptation, and mapping of livestock routes in counties like Isiolo, Marsabit, Turkana, and Garissa. Then there is KELCOP, which is Kenya Livestock Commercialization Project, that is co-funded by GOK and IFA International PFI, and communities, which is targeted at vulnerable groups, pastoralists, youth, and women. And there's a project called Twende, which is running from 2020 to 2026, a joint Kenya NDMA CIA UCN initiative that is restoring degraded rangelands in 11 ASAL counties. In conclusion, Honorable Speaker, the ministry states that the Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock Development is committed to advancing the livestock sector through the livestock development and promotion services. There is collaboration with county governments, development partners, sector, and other stakeholders. It is emphasized, that collaboration. Joint meetings with the Council of Governors have been held, or they are being held regularly, and they have produced a roadmap for ASAL counties. There is also the Intergovernmental Forum and the Summit, which basically is going to take place in this October and will crystallize resolutions and revitalize the sector, especially in the northern Kenya. Honorable Speaker, during the just concluded meeting with Council of Governors, several resolutions were taken, and I would like to go through the resolutions.
Honorable Dr. Mutunga, that is the summarized version.
Yes, I'm finishing. I'm finishing completely now. The resolution, because Honorable Kinan was very particular, and I would like to touch his heart. Honorable Speaker.
In quite some time, so kindly.
Yeah, there are only 15. Number one, development of Kenya livestock blueprint as a joint strategy between the national government and county. That was agreed upon as a resolution. Co-financing and operationalization of abattoirs, feedlots, transport hubs, and tanneries. Number three, implementation of land-skill rangeland restoration and addressing invasive species. Number four is rollout vaccination campaigns targeting about 80% of the livestock by 2027 and establishing biosafety laboratory in all counties. Number five, finalization and rollout of livestock master plan and maintaining updated livestock data. Number six, establishment of breed improvement programs for early maturing and market fit breeds. 7, creation and maintenance of animal feed reserves. 8, fast tracking of animal identification and traceability system. 9, establishment of livestock revolving fund with the Sharia compliant options. 10, harmonization of policy and regulatory framework to boost competitiveness and exports. 11, recruitment of livestock extension officers, veterinarians, animal production officers, range management officers. 12, clearly delineating roles between national government and the county government in the implementation of the projects. 13, activation of drought contingent plan for preparedness and resilience. 14, fast tracking formation of livestock farmer cooperatives for aggregation and commercialization. And finally, development of livestock value chain within county aggregation and industrial parks. Thank you, Honourable Speaker.
Honourable Kainan.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, last week, this same House interacted with a response actually from the ministry. And that particular statement actually was not only wanting, but was completely out of place. That's why today I was almost going to seek your indulgence to be patient with us because we are dealing with a whole sector that has been neglected. But Madam Speaker, two things come to my mind. I tabled this question, I asked this question on, I requested for this statement on 30th June 2025. Madam Speaker, I really want to, first of all, on the face of it, appreciate Dr. Mutunga. Dr. Mutunga is not just a chair of a committee. He's a well-informed academic. He's also an able chairman. I really want to appreciate it because had it not been your efforts, I would have accepted that shallow, hollow, out of touch actually response, and this House will have been duped. The fact that we went back to the drawing board, this has triggered a number of things, Madam Speaker. I saw the statement on 30th June 2025. The Speaker approved on 1st July 2025. And shockingly, Madam Speaker, a few days later, the ministry in cahoots with the Council of Governors, decided to call for a joint meeting, the first of its kind since devolution. That was dated. I wish they did this. Instead of doing it in Serena, Mombasa, I wish they went to Wajir, Garissa, Mandera, Isiolo, Tana River, and many other places so that they could interact. That meeting resolved to have 15 resolutions. But what is even more encouraging, Madam Speaker, these same resolutions again will be subjected to a further verification meeting that will take place between 23rd to 25th October. So I want to thank you. This is a very comprehensive statement.
So you're happy?
Can I complete, Madam Speaker?
You know, Honorable Kenyan, having been the one who requested, you know the rules. If it is a clarification, ask for it. Don't debate it. Yeah, don't debate it. There's still a lot of business.
I really want to indulge you. Maybe your ears are not used to livestock music, but I think that's with a light touch.
Not about, you're out of order, Honorable Kenyan.
Okay.
Any matter to the Speaker is important.
Yes.
Totally out of order.
Okay. Let me say this. Let me say this. This is very good. The response is good. The avenues being suggested are very good. Will I be right to ask you, as the chair, to make sure these resolutions, these joint resolutions between the Council of Governors and the Ministry are properly implemented? And when that meeting will take place between 23rd and 25th October, your committee under your able leadership will be part of the deliberations to make sure this does not become another paper that will be thrown into the shelves of the Ministry of Agriculture. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Very well. Dr. Mutunga, I think you are up to the task, as has been said by Honorable Kenyan. Allow us to go to the next statement requested by Honorable Joseph Namwar. Is he in the House?
This temporary speaker is too.
Is he in the House? Where is he? Okay. Oh. I didn't know Emathe is Namwar. Emathe Namwar. Yes. Honorable Kangogo.
Madam Speaker, I have a response by the Honorable Namwar regarding the lack of development and non-exploitation of Lake Turkana resources. The Honorable Speaker, I will be very brief and summarize because I already gave the Honorable Member a copy of my response, which he has. Madam Speaker, the Lake Turkana is a closed basin in the northwestern of Kenya. And Madam Speaker, the response from the ministry, which is signed by the Honorable Hassan Ali Joho, gives that there are plans to establish the Lake Turkana Development Authority, including the expected timelines for its establishment. And the Honorable Speaker, the Lake Basin lies in the Kerio Valley Development Authority, that is physical, and it has physical offices in Lodwar Town. The strategy is in place to develop the blue economy in Lake Turkana, particularly the fisheries and the aquaculture. The Honorable Speaker, the CS is saying that is strengthening the fish fork capacity, and currently there are about 51 PMUs, that is the beach management units, in Lake Turkana. There is also, Madam Speaker, they have established a monitoring control and surveillance. The department has acquired and deployed a surveillance boat in Lake Turkana. Also, Madam Speaker, there is a development of fishing and fishing fleet capacities with the new fish markets. Currently, the State Department of Blue Economy and Fisheries is working on the fish markets analysis and fish hydrostatic survey in partnership with the Dutch Embassy in Lake Turkana, and also seeking to commercialize the fishing industry in Lake Turkana, which the fish is being utilized locally and also internationally within the region. Strengthening also the co-management through the needs surveys for the coordinated PMUs training, strengthening the lake-wide co-management structures and bylaws enforcement to promote a sustainable exploitation of fisheries. And then under item number D is intercommunal and cross-border natural resource-based conflicts through the promotion of cross-border peace programs and enhancing a dialogue between the fisher box and other livelihoods. Item number 3, Honorable Speaker, the infrastructure projects currently underway to support the economic activities around the Lake Turkana, including the roads, the cold storage facilities, and fishing landing sites. So, Madam Speaker, there is a proposed construction of fishing landing sites in Kalokol and Loyangalani in Turkana and Marsabit counties, respectively. The landing sites will be equipped with the jetties, called storage facilities, ice-making machines, potable water, and sanitary facilities, and fish processing areas. These facilities will improve the fish post-harvest management, and further, the modern fish markets are proposed for the establishment in Kalokol and it's called the Lowarengak in Turkana County. The fish markets, which includes the fish landing sheds, cold storage units, and processing areas. The fish markets will support the fishing community by providing trading and marketing opportunities. The modern markets will also promote the fish value chain to tap the high local markets. So the State Department of Blue Economy and Fisheries has developed the concept note projects covering the Samburu, Turkana, and Marsabit counties, Madam Speaker, and it's also supported by the IFAD. The ministry is implementing the Lake Turkana Maritime Transport and the Investment Project. The objective of the project is to develop the integrated framework for managing a maritime resources, infrastructure, and well-developed and safe system of maritime transport. Under the same Honorable Speaker, the development of Lodwar, Kitale, Nadabal, and Lodwar Kalokol roads has also improved the access to the fisheries. Other road networks, these are just the road networks that will make it easier for the fish to be taken to the market. Under item number 4, Honorable Speaker, from the Ministry, the support being provided by the Fisher Folk and Beach Management Units, PMUs, to enhance the access equipment, financing and markets and capacity building. There are about 51 registered beach management units in Lake Turkana, 41 in Turkana County and 10 in Marsabit County. Through the Fish Marketing Authority, that is the KFMA, the 51 PMUs have been sensitized on a fish commercialization and subsequent establishment of fish marketing cooperatives. The cooperatives will strengthen the currently weak market structure by improving and bargaining the power. The State Department is in the process of facilitating the PMUs with the modern fish drying racks, and the adoption of the modern fish drying racks will improve the hygiene quality of sun-dried fish. In collaboration with International Authority for Development, that is ICAD, I have trained about 30 women in fishing care development and repair to enhance sustainable fishing in the lake. The measures which are being put in place to protect Lake Turkana from environmental threats, including coordination of conservation efforts and the sustainable exploitation of resources. Madam Speaker, currently the Lake Turkana is experiencing high water levels. The increasing water levels has not only displaced the fishing community, but also destroyed the community structures, including the dry fish stores, the cold fish storage, and the fish processing facilities, particularly the Kalokol and the Loyangalani. Through collaboration with the development partners, need assessment has been conducted to evaluate the damage and interventions. Under the Lake Turkana Fisheries Management Plan, the water abstractions, the climate change and pollution are strategic issues identified for consideration. The strategic issues will be addressed through the establishment of Transboundary River Omo Lake Turkana Management Plan, a promotion of sustainable land use in the basin, monitoring of heavy metals
and macronutrients, and the establishment of pollution monitoring unit. The department, through the Kenya Fisheries Service, is continuously conducting monitoring, control, and surveillance to combat the illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing activities in Lake Turkana. These efforts would ensure the sustainable fishing. In partnership with ICAD, I've also developed the Omo Turkana Basin Integrated Fisheries Management Plan to address the Omo Basin catchment issues in Kenya, Sudan, South Sudan, Somalia, and Ethiopia. And lastly, Honorable Speaker, the Kenya-Ethiopian MOU signed on 21st February 2024 establishes the framework for consultation and cooperation in fisheries and aquaculture. Among the areas of cooperation in the MOU include the cooperation in sustainable development and management of fisheries and aquaculture, the fish quality assurance, and capacity building. This will provide a holistic approach towards the sustainable management of Lake Turkana Basin resources, addressing the resource-based conflict and anthropogenic and environmental threats. Madam Speaker, that is the response which is signed by the Halias and Joho, the EGA, the Cabinet Secretary, Ministry of Blue Economy, Mining and Maritime Affairs. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Very well. Member for Turkana Central, are you satisfied?
Madam Speaker, thank you. I am not satisfied with the response. If I am told to rate at the scale of 5, I will give it 1. Only on item number 3, Madam Speaker. I say so because it is only the fish markets that were just advertised, and we did site handovers recently that are tangible, Madam Speaker. And that is your number 3, answer to my question number 3. Madam Speaker, allow me to just say 3 things on this response, quickly. Number 1, Madam Speaker, the first report or research on Lake Turkana potentiality was done in 1982. Recently, in 2022, a research was done by IGAD and Ecofish. Madam Speaker, Dr. Wasie Antena, who was the researcher on using the full well potential of Lake Turkana, in his report, I quote, "Fish which should be a source of development die of old age in Lake Turkana." That is a recent report of 2022, Madam Speaker. And it means that Lake Turkana is not developed and its potential is not being exploited, in short, Madam Speaker. And that is what our President was able to mention and say, fish in Lake Turkana die of old age. He was making reference to that report by Dr. Wasie Antene of 2022, Madam Speaker. And Madam Speaker, number 2 on the same, or B of that, Lake Turkana has a potentiality of producing 30,000 metric tons of fish. But currently, we are producing only 5,000 annually, Madam Speaker. And that is why the 25,000 fish die of old age. And this lake has a potential of feeding over 58% of the population in Turkana as a source of livelihood, Madam Speaker. Allow me also to say, Madam Speaker, that Turkana and Marsabit are not connected in the same manner in which Homa Bay and Siaya are connected. What do I say? We don't have a ferry. It will have improved on transport. It will have improved on business and trade, Madam Speaker. But nothing. We cannot be able to reach Marsabit. We have to go up to Samburu to reach Marsabit, Madam Speaker. Number 3, in FY or financial year 2021-2022, for example, an allocation of 13 billion was given to the Ministry of Fisheries and to the State Department of Fisheries, only 30,000 was given to Turkana, to Lake Turkana, for training of BMUs. The rest went to the Indian Ocean and Lake Victoria, Madam Speaker. It means there is no, when I look at this report or response, it is like a concept note. There is nothing tangible that we can say is happening in Lake Turkana.
Honorable
I thank
Kangogo, you have been rated at 20% from that statement. What do you have to say?
Madam Speaker, to an extent, I want to agree with the Honorable Namwar that actually Lake Turkana, it's been neglected for a while. And Madam Speaker, on 20th of this month, next week, my committee will be visiting Lake Turkana for a public participation, which I also reported before you, Madam Speaker, in the liaison committee, that we are developing a new fisheries management bill, Madam Speaker, which is going to address many of the challenges our fishermen they've been facing, including the fishermen in Lake Turkana. And on the same day, Honorable Speaker, we are also going to Baringo and Naivasha. And Madam Speaker, once the new fisheries bill is passed by this House, so we will be able, Madam Speaker, to make sure that we are put in place some legislation which will address all those challenges our fishermen are facing. So I want to invite the Honorable Namwar. On 20th, we will be in Lake Turkana, and also to hear the views of the fishermen of the people of Turkana, and also as we legislate also to that bill so that we can factor in their views. And also, I know they will come up with the issues of the development of the lake, the landing sites, and everything. Madam Speaker, the last one, the money he's talking about 13 billion, which came as it's a donor-funded projects under through the ministry. That money was specific. The money was specific to about 5 coastal counties of Mombasa, Kwale. And Madam Speaker, the ministry, they have another agreement, the phase 2 of the project, which we have discussed with the CS Honorable Ali Sanjo, to include Lake Turkana in the next phase of the funding, Honorable Speaker. So I want to personally take up as the chair of the committee with the ministry, and I will include the Honorable Namwar, so that we make sure that all across the country, Lake Victoria, in Mombasa and everywhere, the fishing industry, Madam Speaker, is upgraded. Thank you.
Honorable Namwar.
Madam Speaker, just a quick one. In the current financial year budget, the budget on fisheries for Lake Turkana, if you look at it, has no equity. It must start with this budget, Madam Speaker, other than just giving us concept notes. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
I am sure the chair you have heard. Next one will be the member for Kandara. Are you in the House? Response by Honorable GK and your committee.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the member for Kandara, the Honorable Chege Jogona MP, requested statement regarding the completion of construction of Mackenzie, Muruka, Kamurugu Road. Honorable Speaker, the Honorable Chege Jogona MP in the request sought the following. 1, reasons for storing of the Mackenzie, Muruka, Kamurugu Road from the year 2022 to date, despite the contractor having been paid part of the contract sum by the government in fulfillment of its obligation. Number 2, detailed report accounting for the sum of Kenya shillings 24 million paid to the contractor against the proportion of works undertaken. And 3, the estimated timeline for the resumption and completion of the road as per the contract awarded in the year 2021. And number 4, the interim measures, if any, in place to alleviate the transportation challenges in the area during the period of construction of the road. Honorable Speaker, the committee received a response from the Ministry of Roads and Transport on 30th September which I now wish to make. Regarding the reasons for storing of the road from the year 2022 to date, despite the contractor having been paid part of the contract sum by the government in fulfillment of its obligation, the ministry reported that the contractor for this road, that is MS Notchmark Surprise Limited, scaled down operations in the year 2022 after delays in payment of the second interim payment certificate, IPC, worth the Kenya shillings 24 million. Although the contractor had mobilized in the month of May 2022 and carried out activities such as pothole patching along the 15.6 kilometer stretch and laying of 2.2 asphalt overlay, he later demobilized while awaiting payment, which was eventually made in October 2023. Despite receiving the funds, the contractor failed to fully resume works and had earlier delayed mobilizing even after being awarded the contract in August 2021. Number 5, however, the ministry outlined that so far, only 39.7% of the work had been achieved despite 1461 days, equivalent of 400% of the contract period having elapsed. Completed activities including a topographical survey, site clearance for the full length, ditch cleaning, desilting and cleaning of culverts, potholes, cutting and trimming and processing the base layers, priming, laying asphalt concrete for 2.2 kilometers and construction of 69 meters of 600 culverts. On the estimated timeline for the resumption and completion of the road, the ministry through KERA has undertaken several interventions towards full resumption of works, including several management meetings in the past 2 months with the contractor, who has since committed to mobilize and resume works in the month of October this year and undertake the remaining works within 6 months. Additionally, on the interim measures put in place to alleviate the transportation challenges in the area, the ministry noted that once the contractor resumes work in the month of October this year, and given that potholes being the main challenge, priority will be given to pothole patching. This will significantly improve the riding surface of the road. The next activity to be prioritized will be laying the asphalt concrete overlay. Honorable Speaker, I submit.
Member for Kandara, are you satisfied with the statement?
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. And Madam Speaker, before I respond to the Chairman, Transport, Madam Speaker, allow me to pay tribute to the 16 victims who perished on Sunday during that gruesome road